What's up YouTube, this is Will Blackout Pro. I played the crap out of the Battlefield 1 beta, and let me tell you, Battlefield 1 is definitely going to kill Infinite Warfare this year, because Infinite Warfare, we've all seen the multiplayer reveal, we've seen all the trailers, and really there's nothing exciting in that game. There's no excitement, there's no hype. I mean, no one wants to play, a boring ass campaign with bad storyline. No one wants to play that again. No one wants to play, like this Space War Exo Jump crap that they've put in the game. No one wants to play that. And then I mean, even the Exo Zombie, or sorry, not Exo Zombies, Zombies in Spaceland. I mean, it looks decent, but I mean, I don't think a lot of people are gonna want to play Scooby-Doo themed zombies. I really don't think that people want to play that. And of course, some zombie people will, but overall, I don't think Infinite Warfare really has much going for it. So Battlefield 1 definitely has a chance to kill Call of Duty this year, finally. Because, Battlefield 1, like, I haven't been that big of a Battlefield fan. Like, for those of you who know, like, I played Battlefield 4 before. I played a lot of Battlefield 4 in the past year. And it was a good game. I like Battlefield 4. I mean, I'm mainly a Call of Duty fan, but I went over to Battlefield because I wanted a realistic shooter, not some exo suit, exo jump, thrust jump. I didn't like that stuff, so I moved to Battlefield, and I've been playing more Battlefield than COD, in case you haven't noticed. So Battlefield 1, I felt like it's a good Battlefield game. Like, you can definitely tell it's Battlefield. Whereas in COD, like, they throw in so much bullshit, you can't even tell if that game's Call of Duty, except for the Call of Duty logo on the front of the box. I mean, that's it. It's Call of Duty name only. But in Battlefield 1, I'm happy to say that it is a Battlefield game, and for those of you who like Battlefield, you'll definitely like Battlefield 1. And Battlefield 1, for me, I enjoyed more than Battlefield 4. At least I enjoyed the beta more. Probably because I like the time period better. I mean, I think I, like a lot of other people, have a fatigue for futuristic settings, futuristic slash modern settings, and we really want to go back to the past, like World War One, World War Two, Vietnam maybe. And I think that's what the setting really helped me enjoy this game a lot more, because settings really do make a difference. Like, all the guns in this game are real guns. They're based on real guns. They're actually used in combat. They're not all this like futuristic prototype weapons or whatever they have in Infinite Warfare. That just makes the gun look so futuristic. Yeah, I mean, even though it's just a reskin of a gun that we had in prior Call of Duty, like these guns, I mean, there was a decent amount of weapon variety in this game. I mean, there are no true assault rifles. Really, all you have in this game is basically bolt action rifles. You have semi-auto like infantry rifles. You have SMGs, you have LMGs, sniper rifles, but you have that. And what I've noticed is that on big maps like this, you can only really snipe. But I'm okay with sniping because it is a Battlefield game and the maps are really big. So I guess you kind of have to snipe, and I guess sniping is really the way to go in Battlefield, because that's what I did in BF4. But I really enjoyed it in BF1, if you haven't noticed, because I'm using the Gewehr M95 here with a straight pull, and I just like iron sights for some reason. So I'm not running the marksman, or sorry, the sharpshooter variant. I'm just using the regular rifleman, and I do really well with it. Camping at the top. So yeah, I mean, it's just really fun using that. And then the vehicles, I really like the vehicles. I mean, you do have, they're more basic stuff like biplanes and triplanes and just older vehicles. And yet you also have tanks too, even though tanks, relatively new in World War One. I mean, those are fun to use. I didn't use the tanks too much because people would tank core all game and just spawn camp the tanks and just wait for a tank to spawn and then immediately take it. I spent more of my time in the the planes. And one thing I noticed about the planes though was that attack plane seemed to do a lot more damage with its gun than the fighter plane did, even though the fighter plane has two guns that fire simultaneously. Because like, I would get right behind slow moving bombers, and my attack plane would take it out much easier than my fighter plane. I think that was just a bug or something, because whenever I would spray like a whole hail of bullets into a bomber, it would say like, oh, +4 damage or something for the fighter, but I would get like +20 with the attack plane. And, plus the attack plane can drop bombs, so I guess that's a plus. But I think that's just one thing that needs to be fixed. I mean, other than that, the fighter plane would be good if it could actually kill things. because it moves faster. It's more maneuverable and has an extra gun, so it should be better at dogfighting. But it just right now, I think there's a bug or something that just makes it really weak and unusable for the most part. Next, we have the destructible environment. I think they overdid it a little bit, because if you guys don't know, like on this desert map, like we have a ton of buildings in this little town, and it only takes like maybe one or two shots from a tank to completely just collapse the roof and completely like destroy half the building. And also we have bombers and everything that can just drop bombs everywhere. So I think it's way too easy to destroy buildings in this game. I mean, it's fairly realistic. The problem is you flatten the map out. You can't get to a higher elevation, and snipe people or just provide overwatch. It just makes the map really flat and I would say more boring. Because I mean, imagine in Call of Duty if they had destructible environments like Nuketown or something, and you just called in a B-52 and it completely flattened out the entire map. Like you completely destroyed the yellow house, completely destroyed the teal house. I mean, the map would be forever changed. You wouldn't have much of a map then. It would just be basically a flat playing field. I mean, that's kind of what we have here. I mean, not that extreme, but typically in most games, most of the buildings get destroyed. The roof collapses and you can't access the third floor anymore. So I mean, that does create a problem for me, because I like to camp on the top floors. And also, like, floor collapses just seem to happen at the most inopportune times. Like, the tank would just sneak up on you and blow up the building you're in, and then, like, what are you going to do? You're stuck there, then you fall through the floor, you take a bunch of damage, and the tank just finishes you off with another round or something. I guess it's more realistic, but still, I mean, I think they overdid a little bit. Maybe they just need to tone that down a little bit, like maybe give the buildings more health or something. But other than that, it's fine. I mean, another cool feature they added with the buildings is that you can now close doors and close and open shutters, things like that. I mean, it's just a minor thing. I mean, I guess you can barricade yourself in a building if you want, or hide, or some whatever. But that's just a nice little feature they added. Next, we have big map vehicles that are called behemoths, like the armored train for this Sinai Desert map, or the airship in other maps. And apparently there's a naval ship that you can call in, like the losing team can call in on one of the maps. Now these are interesting. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in Battlefield, where the losing team can just spawn in a massively powerful vehicle to try to shift the tide in their favor. I find it pretty interesting. I mean, the armored train can get annoying because it has a ton of health, and if they want to be realistic, I mean, in real life you could just blow up the tracks or something, derail the thing. But in this game, like, it is extremely hard to take out one of those armored trains, and that thing has an anti-aircraft gun, so it can shoot you down. If you're flying in a plane, it can shoot you down. It has all these different types of cannons, so I mean, you can blow up buildings. You can cause a lot of damage, and it's really hard to keep control of D flag and A flag, or even G flag, like if the enemy team has the train. So I mean, that's one thing. Like, I don't necessarily think that noobs should be rewarded for doing badly by giving like a huge armored train. But then again, I see why they added it in. And, like, I guess to be fair, they have to give it to the losing team. But I mean, that'd be cool if you could earn it. Like, if your team could earn it by just completing some sort of challenge or something, or controlling an area, controlling like the train station the longest or something. I mean, maybe that would be reward skillful players, but it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't really bother me much. I played in it a little bit, and it's decent. It's not completely overpowered. It just gets annoying sometimes when it just sneaks up on you and like you can't defend yourself against it. So just one more thing, like, I just want to comment on the Sinai Desert map. I think it was a decent map. I don't think it was their best map. I think they just included it because they want to give us access to all the features. They want to showcase all the vehicles and the behemoth and everything that you can do. I mean, this map was huge. I mean, E flag is just so far away from everything else. It's ridiculous, and like half the map is not even like half the map, like half the map with the town and everything. Like 90% of the action occurs on this half of the map. The other half of the map with E flag has almost nothing going on. It's just a bunch of sand dunes and a bunch of nothingness out there. So I mean, the map could have been made smaller, but I think the reason why they made it so big was because of the planes and everything. Because you need you need a lot of room for planes and other vehicles to traverse the map. So I think that's the reason why they made it so big. But the problem with that is that the only real class you can use, in my opinion, is the sniper rifles. Is like recon, because like SMGs, like the MP18, it kicked a lot and it was pretty weak, and you can only use it at close range. So I didn't really like that. Um, I didn't like the LMGs either because they just seemed really weak for some reason. I mean, I've never really been a light machine gunner in Battlefield to begin with, but I just thought that was pretty weak. But even the rifles in the assault class, the semi-auto select fire rifles, those were fairly weak because I mean it take you what 4 shots to kill, and you only have 10 rounds in your magazine. So those, I mean, they're decent. They're decent at medium range, but I mean, I thought that sniping was the best way to go, and I mean, maybe that's not the case on all the Battlefield maps. I mean, you probably have some smaller ones, but I just feel like it's just a sniper's paradise, and like, if you're not sniping, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, or if you're not using a long-range rifle, you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage. So I mean, there's not that much variety. I mean, you can't really use a trench gun or an SMG and expect to do well, unless you're in the city, in the little confines of the city. Other than that, I really like the Battlefield 1 beta, and I really think that it's going to be one of the best Battlefield games that we've seen in a long while. Infinite Warfare, guys, don't even consider buying that game. That game is going to fail. It's failing. Like, there's no hype for it and nothing. And but BF1, and I mean, thank God it's coming out at least a couple of weeks before Infinite Warfare, because hopefully it cuts into Infinite Warfare sales and shows Activision that you can't put out the same crap and expect everybody to buy it every year like blind sheep. Like, so anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed my Battlefield 1 review and my Infinite War. And just telling you guys how much Infinite Warfare is going to be so bad, and it's going to fail this year. And we're going to see. I mean, even with COD 4 Remastered, I don't think that's going to help it too much, because with COD 4 Remastered, people just want it for the nostalgia. But the thing is, the game's already 9 years old, and we've been playing it. We played the crap out of it already, so I mean, it's gonna last maybe a week, maybe a month tops, before people will just get bored of it and go move on to other things. So I don't even think that's gonna save Infinite Warfare. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the commentary. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you guys later.